What would you like to see Buzz get up to?
This is really off the cuff. It was just it made me very emotional yesterday.
Hello, guys. How are we doing?
Very good.
Good.
How are you doing?
Good. I was going to say I'm good, but I'm in England right now, and it's freezing. I know you guys are used to the North Pole, but it's colder here than it is there. I promise you that much.
No, the North Pole. The North Pole is very, very cold, but we're used to it. We've got.
Yeah, so.
It's like we live in Finland. We're just used to it.
But it is cold. Look, I had to put on the hoodie, and I'm inside, so it's a little chilly.
I'm going to tell you, it's colder here. I win this one. You lose. I'm sorry. It's colder here. Elizabeth, I want to start with you. This is your first acting role, which is already so cool. But the fact that you get to work with elves at Santa's workshop, and you get to work with comedy icons like Eric Stonestreet, Tracy Morgan, and a personal favourite of mine, Tim the Tall Man Taylor. You get to work with all of these greats. What has been your biggest pinch me moment from this whole journey?
Oh my gosh, I feel like there's so many, and I realize it almost afterwards. You know, we'll be doing a scene, and then if we take a break or they cut, and I'm just like, what, like, how am I here? Like, what am I even doing? Like, what? But yeah, it's such an amazing experience, and honestly, like I said, there's just so many moments where I'm like, how am I doing
one.
this? Okay, I'm picking.
Thanks for being the journalist here, Tim. Thank you.
Let me handle this. Think.
See you later.
Oh gosh. I think okay. I'll pick a certain one, but okay. All right. Just give me seconds. One of my favorite scenes, like of all time of this season, was this big. It was like one of our last days of working. I think it was almost everyone's last day, and it was like this big prom scene. I won't say anymore, but. Like everyone dressed up, like the whole entire cast and crew dressed up for the scene. So, the crew had they had shirts that with like fake like suit and ties on, and it was like some people had like full on dresses on. It was so fun. And like it was just everyone was there, and it was just kind of like this amazing like day where like it was just so much fun. And afterwards I was like, I can't believe how am I doing this? Like this is so fun. But yeah, I feel like that was a good pinch me moment.
Plus your dad Santa. I mean, that's always a win as well.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Tim, in the Santa Clauses, Scott's trying to make the Santa business into a family business.
Right.
Firstly, that's a bad idea. I worked with my dad. Never again. But
What?
you haven't met my dad. I mean, I could work with you fine. You haven't met my dad.
Fair enough.
But from these three actors that you've worked with in the past, who would be the worst to run a business with? Martin Short, Sigourney Weaver, and John Travolta.
This is
Oh,
good.
boy.
This is good.
It would definitely be Travolta. Because Travolta does everything. He's a magic person. He's a magic person, but he's clear. He's like a Cupid in ours. He just floats around. He's a new idea. And John, what are you doing over there? I've got a whole new idea how we're going to do this. John, that's what writers do. No, I'll do all this. I think we should, and then all of a sudden it's how we shoot the film. And I go, I think that's the DP's idea. No, I want to come in. And he's so wonderful and such a cool guy. Everybody listens to him. And then if you're some of the other actors, you go, what do we do here if John's going to do all this? Well, you just adapt yourselves to whatever John does. He goes, he's an incredibly creative, magical man, but he would be very difficult to work with if you're one of these guys like me that I need it like written down. I can't just kind of float around with you, John.
I thought you'd have to put some thought into it. Straight away you went John Travolta. Before I even said three options. Watching the Santa Clauses, I mean, naturally it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, but what makes me feel even warmer and even fuzzier inside is the fact that there's a mini Modern Family reunion with you working closely with Eric Stonestreet in this. If we bring another cast member from Modern Family into the Santa Clauses, who are you picking and what role would you like to give them?
Oh man, I would pick Ed O'Neill off the bat. No problem, no question about it. He would make a great addition to the Santa Claus franchise. His personality and just the way that he's been portrayed over the years, I think he could pull off an excellent either Mad Santa's brother or he could be a new Santa. But definitely he's got those vibes.
I think we just made movie gold.
And we would accomplish the reunion at the same time. So yeah, it's a twofer.
And there's not much I want from Christmas. In fact, there's only one thing I want, and I think I can get that from you, Tim. As a little Christmas present, what can you tell me about Toy Story 5? What would you like to see Buzz get up to?
This is really off the cuff. It was just, it made me very emotional yesterday because a guy, I went to get coffee at a very small little coffee bar that he grinds his own coffee, asked me the same question just yesterday. And I said, and I don't know this is where the story's going, but what if the whole story was through Andy as an adult, has children, and they just happen to be online, and the kid goes, have you ever seen this toy? And Andy sees that Buzz has got a hand missing and he's in they're selling these vintage toys. And Andy goes and gathers all the toys up. He has to go out and find each one of them, put them back together, bring them back to his house, and starts the whole thing over again with his son. And I said, what a wonderful idea is that he brings us. It's all through Andy's eyes because we made his life, and now he's returning that favor.
You know what, I'm just going to write that down and sell all of that to Pixar. That was easy. That was so easy. In the Santa Clauses, you play Chris, a man who owns a Santa museum. You even don the Santa suit, which means, you know, in a way, you sort of imitate Tim Allen's Santa. And I'm going to give you the chance to take another one of his characters. So, from all of Tim's previous roles, which character would you like to make your own?
Well, I wouldn't even go to the film. I would go back to the TV show when he was Tim the Toolman Taylor from Home Improvement. He basically got to as comedians, anytime you could take what you do on stage and take it to the TV screen, that's a big win right there. So he was able to be Tim the Toolman Taylor, and it was always about getting more power. So yeah.
I was going to ask, how's your
Yeah, there you go.
There's competition here. We're both going for it.
A little bit.
There is a fine art with Christmas movies and shows. What is the most overrated Christmas movie of all time?
That's a good one. That's a good question.
Oh, wow.
There's like a couple on Netflix that I feel like I've watched, and I'm like, what am I watching? But I don't know. Have you seen any that are like, I don't.
No, because I can't be rude about it. Because anybody who's close to ours, I don't like. They're never overrated. What I think is, I get very proprietary. Whenever I see any other Santa Claus, I go, no.
That's true. He won't watch any other Santa Clauses with me.
And I said, so I'm out of respect for the profession, I'm going to stay out of that one.
Just to let you know, my fiance will be devastated that you badmouthed the Netflix Christmas films, because that is her whole personality. Netflix Christmas films, she loves more than me.
Die Hard.
You didn't even pause to think about it straight away.
Just because everybody's always had that argument of, is it a Christmas movie? Is it not a Christmas movie? So I figured I'd appease the ones that didn't think it was.
Thank you so much for chatting to me. Thank you for bringing the Santa Clauses into my life, and have a Merry Christmas.
And a Merry Christmas to you.